We are spending our first day on Greenland, walking around in town, completing the check-in procedures, exploring and looking for fresh food to buy. We are many pleasure boats here right now, and the harbour is crowded. We move the boats around to new spots several times a day to make room for the ships coming in. But there is a storm approaching that will give us a hard time for a couple of days, with the rain and high winds. It has us concerned, as there is just not enough room for all of us to be well protected here.
There's a big low pressure passing by Greenland's south coast, both the east and west coast. And here in Qaqortoq we are a bit exposed for these winds. Actually, the swell comes in a bit and the wind has just starting to pick up. And the worst thing is it's pretty hard getting a spot here because there's ferries and small like supply ships coming in with supplies for the little city. And that makes the small pleasure boats that has come in here to find shelter no place to go. So when the small ferry comes or the supply ship comes, we have to move and then move back. And doing that in this wind is it's a bit exhausting and a bit thrilling. Yeah, the marinas or harbors here in Greenland is not like made for pleasure boats. And when it comes, we are 7 pleasure boats here now, and when so many boats gather up to find shelter, yeah, it's hard to get a place for all of us. So today, for the coming winds, we are on a really good spot, I think. Yesterday we were at alongside that ship there, outside another sailboat, but the waves and the wind just crashed us there. So we were lucky that we could come free and move around to be alongside another sailboat in a more protected place around the corner here. Yeah, it's just oh, it's just, but well, yeah, we shouldn't complain. This is an unreal place to come to, so we just have to accept and adapt and do our best to just make things work. But we are protected here in the Qaqortoq harbour, but still 60 knots of wind. In a few hours it will be... Oh, and it's cold. Now the passenger ferry arrives and you can really tell that it's blowing outside.
I think the ferry decided to leave. It went back out, and all the people on land, on the pier here, they jumped in their car and drove away again. So I guess he decided that it was a bit too windy right now to attempt to dock the passenger ship. And it looks like he's going to wait outside by the iceberg, which looks kind of funny. While waiting for the ferry, we put on the wind instrument, and we have topped at 50 knots. Super great being in this unprotected place in 50 knots. We had really hoped that when the ferry would come in, it would take away some of the swell that pushes in through the corner, but Now when the ferry moves, I guess we're stuck with the swell and the wind for the day until it calms down sometime this afternoon. Look who moved spot again yesterday. We did! But it was all voluntary because that spot over there was really uncomfortable. So once the wind had settled down a bit, we moved to this pier instead. It's been so calm and quiet this night. We have had a really good night of sleep. So now it's time for a little excursion here in Qaqortoq. We are heading for a sauna and maybe even we are going to swim in the fjords here. Nice view! Wow.
Every time.
This counts. That has to count, right? It might look like it's a nice and warm summer's day, and it is. But in Greenland, that means around 10 degrees Celsius in the air and 2 degrees in the water. Not really what I would call optimal temperatures for a swim. But all 5 of us went in the water, some more than others, and then we could enjoy the warmth of the sauna. The sauna is self-serving, and you book a time slot online, arrive and fire it up with the wood provided and included in the fee. A really nice concept that made it possible for us to say, we have taken a swim in Greenlandic waters.
We have had some amazing days here in Greenland. We have been hiding from a crazy storm. We have been exploring, some trekking, some wonderful sauna with our friends on Sora. And now we're heading south to explore more of Greenland and point our bow towards Scandinavia and our home port Malmö. The season up here is pretty short, and we have some miles to cover before we are back in Sweden, and we have to just keep on going, unfortunately.
I don't know if you can see there behind me, but there's a boat there. So that means that we have moved again. I think it's the 8th time in 3 days, 4 days. We have moved at least once every day. But yeah, this was actually on us because it's not very easy to be one of the lightest boats in a marina like this when all these heavy steel boats come in. That boat that's now on our inside, it's super heavy, so Linnea would get a bit crushed if we were on the inside. So we decided that we'd rather move and go on there outside instead. So I think it will be very nice that we are moving from here tomorrow morning, hopefully to an anchorage where we can stay in one spot. We are continuing south. We will have like a week, maybe 10 days before we need to go to Iceland, and we have some exploring of Greenland to do in that time. So super excited for that. It was such a good ending to our time here in Qaqortoq to visit the sauna this morning, and now we feel well rested and ready to continue here. So yeah, just to make sure to check in next week, and there will be a new episode with our continued journey in Greenland. Can you believe it? We are actually sailing in Greenland. It's so crazy. It feels so crazy sitting here saying that. But yeah, that will be for next week's episode. So yeah, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we see you next week. Bye! Join us next week as we hoist our sails to explore Greenland, sailing with icebergs in uncharted waters. And hey, don't forget to check out our Patreon page to become part of our virtual crew and explore the membership benefits. See you soon, and fair winds!